You know how to do it.
Ah!
Okay, you gotta go.
Okay. Ugh. Oh no. Hello fellow friends. Today we are looking at Sabrina the Teenage Witch. So from what I gathered, Sabrina the Teenage Witch was originally created for the Archie comics in 1962 by George Gladier and Dan DeCarlo. Sabrina lives in the town of Greendale, which is kind of neighboring the town of Riverdale from what I understand. So from what I've seen, there's a handful of adaptations of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. There's a 70s animated version, which I didn't even know existed before doing the research for this video, so we won't really be diving into that.
Hey, you haven't seen a bunch of musical instruments from the human world, have you?
Not since I performed an acquisition spell,
Assembled the greatest rock band in the history of Witch World,
and then left to pursue my own interests.
We will, however, be looking at the 90s sitcom, the cartoon animated version from the 2000s, and also the newest adaptation, which is the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. So, in this video, we'll just be going through the different adaptations in chronological order for no other reason than I just like order. Now, let's dive into it, starting with a 90s live action sitcom. So basically in this version, it doesn't differ too much from the original source, except for that she lives in Westbridge, Massachusetts. Massachusetts? Did I say it? I don't know how to pronounce that. If you're offended, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
So, the plot. So Sabrina finds out she's a witch on her 16th birthday from her aunts Hilda and Zelda. At first she doesn't believe them, but slowly weird things keep happening to her and she can't deny it any longer. She uses magic the way I think I would, using it for little things that will help out in your life. So what ensues for the next several seasons is that the magic doesn't work out the way that she always hopes it will. She learns a lot through her magic and sometimes really regrets using it and then learns her lesson, but then sometimes she also uses more magic to fix the problem, which is a very teenage decision to make. Sabrina is a really likable character. She seems like a normal teenage girl, but she's also a witch. She's smart, but she's not a nerd, but she's also not cool or popular either. She kind of just fits into the normal category.
I'm sorry.
I really like this. I think a lot of people fall under the normal category. It's just not really portrayed in TV and movies as much. I really enjoy that she cares about what people still think about her and her relationships and her friends, because I remember feeling that way as a teen as well. I always like watching any scenes with her aunts. They are so well written and well acted, and their characters just feel like they're real personalities. And they have some pretty awesome sister banter, which I can see kind of doing with my sisters.
Great idea. I'll race you to the kitchen.
They make fun of each other, but they still care about each other a lot, and they care a lot for Sabrina as well. Her aunts always kind of have ridiculous plot lines, and it's just so fun.
Sabrina, you're gonna love it. We're making you a dream date at a Mando.
Mando?
He'll be tall, dark, and yeasty. Dream date. Got your nose. Man's done.
Her love interest is Harvey.
Harvey!
I find her and Harvey so fucking cute for some reason in this series. Maybe it's just the talks they have. They are so simple and normal, but they feel like what a real high school couple would interact like. I like their relationship. It seems to be chilled out, and they enjoy having fun together, which I think is a huge part about being in a relationship. They don't flirt all the time or kiss, but you can tell that they really do care about each other, and there is something there.
Look on the back.
12:36?
That's what time it was when we first spoke. In the cafeteria on your first day at school. Can I sit here?
Oh, Harvey, it's perfect.
Let's be real, Salem is the best character. Salem was a warlock that was sentenced to be imprisoned in a cat's body for taking over the world. Like, that sentence alone kind of tells you what kind of character he is.
Enjoying your life as a cat?
Yes.
The urinary tract problems?
No.
Getting back to the community?
Yes.
Got any strays in trouble?
No.
Still want to take over the world?
Yes. Wait, no. I meant no. No!
How'd it go?
Don't ask.
And he's also voiced by Nick McKay, and he is just brilliant. There's so much personality. Also, Megan, you are 100% right.
Follow me. And I promise I will be the most benevolent dictator the world has ever seen. Did I say dictator? I meant leader.
You're under arrest for conspiracy to dominate the world.
But we're a non-profit organization.
In my opinion, I think the sitcom has aged really well. I love that they show different magical things every episode. There isn't too much to dislike about this show, and I really recommend going back and rewatching it if you want something kind of easy in the background while you're cooking, you know, your hash browns.
Got your nose.
The cartoon. So the cartoon was aired in the 2000s, and I suspect it's similar to the 70s version of Sabrina. This show follows adolescent Sabrina just like the sitcom, but this time animated. Other than that, there isn't too much that's different with it. She lives with her aunts in Riverdale. She still has kind of a friendship crush thing with Harvey. Salem is still a wise-talking cat that seems to get her in trouble and gives her terrible advice. And in this version, everyone has a pretty similar personality to the sitcom. It's just more in a cartoon fashion, and I believe it was meant to cater to maybe a younger audience. The magic they use in this is really fun and really creative as well. They have some additions like some crazy villains and a magic genie monster that lives in a cookie jar. Pretty sick. There isn't too much to talk about this show other than it's like a fun little thing for kids. I like this version, but I wouldn't really recommend it to anyone else unless they were a fan when they were younger like me. And sometimes the animation is a little awkward, and even though they have some funny lines, a lot of them fall flat for me.
Let me guess. Hanging upside down while looking dopey club.
I'm also kind of confused why this version happened, but it made me incredibly happy to rewatch, and it brought up a lot of good memories I have watching it with my sisters growing up.
Everybody's an individual responsible for their own actions. I judge people by what they say and do, not by skin color or sex or nationality, or whether they happen to have magic powers.
Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. That was a little extra. I don't even know where to begin with this one. I didn't start the second season because I was pretty much done episode 1 of season 1, and I couldn't force myself to watch anymore. Before this video, I had tried once to watch it. This was before I was even doing YouTube, and I got about 22 minutes in before I decided to call it quits. Hey guys, so I'm just currently watching Sabrina, the new TV show. And oh my lord, what is going on? While watching this show, I feel like I'm trying to find like an excuse to do anything else. That's how much I was kind of dreading rewatching this, and now that I'm rewatching it, I'm like, maybe it gets better because you know there's a second season. There's a second season, so some people have to like it, right? Maybe the same people that watch Riverdale. This is hard. Well, wish me luck. I'm gonna try to get through it. So, yeah. Let's just get started with the plot. Sabrina lives in the town of Greendale, which is neighboring the town of Riverdale, which is pretty accurate to the original source. It's reaching her 16th birthday, but the thing that differs in this version is that she knows that she's a witch. Still lives with her aunts, Hilda and Zelda, and in this version, she's actually boyfriend and girlfriend with Harvey. She goes to school and hangs out with her best friends Susie and Roz. Approaching her 16th birthday, specifically the week before she's supposed to go change schools and become like a witch or something, and she starts to second guess if she wants to sign off her name to the Dark Lord. This is kind of where my issues start with the show. She starts questioning everything related to joining the academy only a week before she's planning on going because what? You think a big decision like this would have been discussed previous to the week before her 16th birthday. I feel like they could have maybe discussed it more or shown like maybe a longer timeline of her questioning it. Maybe she didn't always want to go, or I don't know. I don't get it. It just seems like it's happening because the writers made it happen. And it just kind of seems to come out of nowhere and seems super random. Like she's supposed to be really smart in this version and like have a good head on her shoulders, but yeah, she didn't even question this till a week before her birthday. It doesn't line up with who I think her character is. And it all just feels a little bit too rushed for me. Another issue I have with the show is the magical elements. In the sitcom and the cartoon, we saw Sabrina use magic in every episode, and not just like the same spells, a different spell every episode. In this version, there's little to no magic in it. The way they cast spells is pretty cool, and I like that they speak Latin and have different rituals. However, this is barely done. And they never really explain certain magical things, but then they over-explain other magical things. It's just, ugh. On top of the very little magic that there is in the show, they don't even show the academy till episode fucking 4, after talking about it nonstop for the first 3 episodes. I was so confused why Sabrina didn't really want to leave her school and didn't want to go to this academy because we weren't shown it. If they had introduced it in the beginning, I think there could have been a better contrast between the two schools and seeing that, yeah, the academy is worse than her high school. Also, her normal school sucks. There's like the classic dumb jock, like, ugh. And they're just parading around the school, and it's just, I don't understand why she likes that school. Like, I get it, friends, but like at the same time, no, I don't. It's high school. Also, I may be nitpicking here, but there's 2-second clips that just kind of exist for some reason. I guess they're supposed to draw the viewer in and give a better understanding of the character, but it's so short and I'm so confused why they never show it for longer. Also, the character of Sabrina has changed in this version as well. I find her character kind of annoying, to be honest.
Miss Wardwell, we have a tradition of going to the movies and then to Dr. Cerberus's to dissect whatever we just saw. Do you want to join us?
I have papers to grade.
She comes off as a very intelligent person and she believes she's a good person. I say believe because she's very hypocritical and I find no self-reflection in her character at all. And basically, she's mad at her principal and she uses magic to give him a mental fucking breakdown. So she doesn't agree with the jocks humiliating and terrifying Susie, but then she goes and humiliates and terrifies them, which is just super hypocritical in my opinion. There's little to no emotion showing her regretting using her magic to exploit people's fears. Honestly, wish she was like one or the other. I think it would have been cool if her character had a side where she uses magic to punish people that she felt like needed it. And it would have been kind of cool to see this character flaw. Maybe her character could have been that she takes it too far and she doesn't know her limit, but you see her self-reflect on that and maybe she changes, or maybe you just watch her get worse. The relationships between the aunts are a little different this time and a lot more complex. They truly do feel like how siblings would interact if they weren't super close and they were forced to come together. I found, just like in the sitcom, I really liked watching their relationship unfold. They are different personalities, and just like the sitcom and cartoon, they don't always agree on how to parent Sabrina or even go about being a witch. The actress who plays Zelda has totally stood out to me, not just because of Lord of the Rings, but because it was really fascinating to watch her character react to things. She's so stoic, and it's so interesting watching the scene where she's broken down and we saw her reflect. They are my favorite part of this adaptation, and they're pretty much the only thing that kept me going throughout this series. So, Harvey in this version. I feel like he was only there for the first part of the season is to just kind of be Sabrina's boyfriend and tell her how much he loves her and how great she is, and that he's always going to be there for her. When I was writing this video, I could not think of anything about his personality that stood out, or anything really even about his personality. I actually really like the actor Ross Lynch, and I think he's really great, so it kind of, I think it's the writing that was the downfall, not the actor. And also, him and Sabrina are so PDA in front of their friends that it just makes me so uncomfortable. A couple characters added to the show, that being the three sisters, Roz and Susie. The three sisters go to the Witch Academy, which has a name. I'm just way too lazy to look it up and go back to the show and watch it. Roz and Susie are friends with Sabrina and Harvey. They have their own plot lines at some points, but I don't really remember much about them, and I wasn't really interested in them, so kind of just block that one out. Before moving on to the next character, we have to address that Salem doesn't fucking talk in this version! Whew, sorry, I got a little angry. I don't know the reason behind this artistic choice, but I don't agree with it. And it really, really bothers me. Salem was a huge part of all the shows, every show. Even compilations of Salem put together by fans on YouTube, showing his best lines. I just don't know how you could leave this vital part of a character out. This leads me to the addition of the new character, Ambrose. And so Ambrose has a very similar storyline to what Salem did in the sitcom. So I guess he was subbed in to fill that void? I don't know. I like this character and this actor is really great, but I just can't get over that Salem doesn't talk. Why not just cut out Salem completely and just add in Ambrose? There are some parts where Salem is used, but they could have gotten around that really easily, I think, because you don't see him do anything. They just tell you he does stuff. I'm just so distracted by this change that I just couldn't get past it. And it kind of sucks because there's actually one episode I really did enjoy, and it was about Sabrina letting out a sleep demon that she later has to outsmart. I like this episode because there's so many magical elements to it. So basically Sabrina solves a puzzle that lets out a sleep demon that her father trapped. Her aunt Zelda then puts a spell around the house and the sleep demon is trapped again. Sleep demon eventually gets him to fall asleep and forces him into a nightmare till they take the spell off the house that is trapping her. Sabrina's witch teacher, which don't even get me started on her, has to help her out, gets her to wake up. She has to go around saving everyone by using different types of magic, and I really like that they showed in the different nightmares what they were afraid of. Zelda is afraid of losing, she kills Hilda and is afraid of losing her. Hilda is afraid of being attached to Zelda, and Ambrose is just cutting himself up. Which is, I think, kind of shows all the three different characters really well. I really like that element to it. I think this episode is great because there's so much creativity put into it. And there's like one clear main thing that she's trying to accomplish in that episode, and it's really interesting to see how she goes around it. There's no extra characters, and it's in one location, and it's so fun. It was simple, but there's a lot of magic put into it, and it kind of gave me those nostalgia feels for the old show, and if maybe more episodes had been like that, I would have gotten way more behind it, and maybe gotten past the fact that Salem doesn't talk. Also, points to the show for not using CGI and using prosthetics for their villain, which was really a cool look. If you're gonna watch any episode from the show, I would just skip to this episode and stop at that episode. So I feel like the show has a lot more in common with Riverdale than it does with the original sitcom. The visual look of the show is actually really nice and kind of like Riverdale, but the characters are just, they say super unrealistic things and they're just unrealistic in general. Some plot lines don't really feel like they're fueled by characters' actions. They feel like it feels like the writers just wrote it that way. Yeah, most of the characters are the same. Yeah, the plot is pretty much the same, but the things that they changed really made a difference for me. And the adaptations they made were not the correct ones in my opinion. In conclusion, I would just go back and watch the sitcom. That's really all. If you're looking for something kind of light, easy to do, I'd watch a sitcom. If you're looking for something kind of fun to make fun of or to hate yourself, I'd watch The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. And if you're a kid, maybe watch a cartoon. I don't know. There's something for everyone, right? So I just wanted to take this time to give a huge thank you to everyone supporting me. I cannot believe I'm doing this. This is actually insane. I never thought I'd be doing YouTube videos, but it's been a dream of mine for a really long time, and it's blowing my mind how supportive everyone has been. And I guess the right word to say is thank you. Thank you so much. I don't even feel like that covers how I feel though. So, but the support, amazing. You guys, amazing. Give a like, leave a comment. I want to know what you're thinking right now. Let me know if you watched The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Did you like it? If you didn't like it, let's hate on it together, you know? Let me know your thoughts. I'm really interested. And stay tuned because I have a very special video planned for the next one. So if you want to see that, stick around. With that, I'll see you in the next video, and I'm so excited. Bye.
Man's done.